Hello, and welcome to Israel Frenemies, the only news show co-hosted and co-presented by two activists from opposing political views. I'm May Golan, representing the Israeli right.
I'm Ori Zaki, representing the Israeli left. We may be from the same country, but we don't share the same views. So, get ready to find out why. This week we marked the 25th anniversary of the passing of Israel's 6th Prime Minister, Menachem Begin. The former commander of the Irgun, who fought for Israel's independence from the British Mandate, Begin founded the Likud party and after many years in opposition became the first Prime Minister from the Israeli right. Although I'm now very much rooted in the left, Begin was my biggest inspiration to join public life. I remember how as a child I used to watch almost hypnotized his glorious speeches. When I got older, I joined his party to help and support his legacy, a true and deep commitment to Israel's democracy, to its Supreme Court, and to civil rights. The first action he took after being elected was to absorb Vietnamese asylum seekers who fled their country on boats. He was the first leader who integrated Mizrahi Jews into their well-deserved equal place within the Israeli society. And for me, a Mizrahi Jew, it meant a lot. Above all, Begin was the champion of peace, who against his own former beliefs and against the opposition from within his own party, was brave to sign a peace treaty with Egypt, Israel's biggest enemy in those days. He ended the Israeli occupation of the Sinai Peninsula and evacuated the settlements there. For this, he shared the Nobel Peace Prize with Egypt's Anwar Sadat. This peace is one of Israel's greatest strategic assets till this day. Benjamin Netanyahu, who is now the head of the party Menachem Begin established, is as far from him as much as Donald Trump is far from Abraham Lincoln, the first Republican president. Today, Begin would have probably been accused by the current leadership of his own party as a lefty, soft, and I don't even exclude, a traitor. I miss leaders like Menachem Begin.
Recent anti-Semitic incidents in the US have led the radical alt-left media to blame it on one person and one person only, Donald J. Trump. It's absurd to blame anti-Semitism on one of the most pro-Israel US presidents ever. But this is just the latest attack strategy by the lefty media in sync with the radical left and sore loser Democrats. As a Jewish woman, and a very proud one, let me tell you this. The main reason for anti-Semitism in America, in my eyes, are the wealthy radical alt-left organizations, and they're playing a very dangerous game. They create, distribute, and sponsor hatred against Israel and Jews on a daily basis anyway. But they've accelerated this to a whole new evil level, just to pin it on Trump. To support my theory, ask yourself, who benefits the most from these anti-Semitic attacks? Well, obviously not Trump, definitely not Jews, and not even the infamous KKK. The only ones who could possibly gain from this are the extreme radical left activists and organizations who get paid millions of dollars to riot, attack, and do the dirty work for their wealthy sponsors. So next time you hear about an anti-Semitic attack, try and not look at the jar, but at what's going on inside it, and ask yourselves, what kind of evil, sick people create a whole new wave of sponsored anti-Semitism to serve their political agendas? The last time this happened, it ended in a Holocaust.
Well, May, we just heard your view about anti-Semitism and the latest attacks on Jewish targets. I should say that I'm shocked by what you say. I mean, I think, first of all, you know, to talk about wealthy sponsors, perhaps you don't know American terms so much, but that's exactly...
I think I know.
That's
don't
exactly
criticize
the terms.
my English. Thank you very much.
It's not your English. It's
not
your knowledge.
More worse than you calling Menachem Begin a traitor in the eyes of the Likud party today. But
look,
that's okay.
Can I speak, please?
There you go.
Don't interrupt me. To speak about wealthy sponsors, that's anti-Semitic. Mm-hmm. That's how anti-Semites in America relate to American Jews. Now, instead of saying, look, there's a problem here, nobody blames Donald Trump for being an anti-Semite. But it's not it's not a mystery that some of his supporters, not all of his supporters, not most of his supporters, are from the most radical right elements within the American society, and some of them are anti-Semites. For instance, if you just know, because I haven't finished. If you just,
no, you can't take the entire time.
No, I'm not taking the entire time, but please let me finish the sentence.
You're talking about time, but you don't have it.
For you to give a free card to the KKK as you just did, for you to not to acknowledge, to invent a term like alt-left when the alt-right used the hand like Nazis. That's, I don't know what you're trying to do here, but it's totally crazy.
The public can't see the other side when the other one is reading the monologue. And while I was reading my monologue, you demanded for me to stop it, and I didn't agree because you are not the police thoughts telling me what to say.
But I won't give legitimacy to such hatred and defamation.
Let me finish. You finished? You just spoke for more than 30 seconds. Listen to me. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's not a theory. It's a fact that people like George Soros, like J Street, like B'Tselem,
all Jews.
like
that's anti-Semitic what you're just doing.
You didn't
that's
live in
anti-Semitic.
Okay, I will not talk if you won't let me finish. You finished your sentence. This is very rude what you're doing.
Please.
All organizations that are being run by Jews, what they're doing all day is create incitement against Israel. When you have organizations like that being run by Jews, there is no surprise when the president itself, Donald Trump itself, said today that he won't be surprised that these anti-Semitic attacks are coming from the Jewish community itself. And you won't see, let me finish, and you won't see the right-wing Republicans, Jews, going out against this statement because...
Of course they do.
Because,
all of them do.
Because you won't let me finish, so I will yell.
You are now...
Then you say that I'm yelling. Let me finish my sentence. In the end of the day, the only people that are inciting against Jews are the self-hating Jews themselves in America.
Are you blind?
No, you are blind.
Didn't you see what happened in the Jewish graveyards? Did you hear about the bomb threats?
He's the source
You're totally
of all
blind
evil. Max
because you support Trump.
David
I'm not blaming Trump.
Like
Nobody's blaming Trump. It's his supporters.
No, I'm not blaming Trump.
No, you're blaming
what supporters?
You are using anti-Semitic lines now. It's crazy. You yourself are using
calling
that.
me anti-Semitic as the right-wing Jew, it's pathetic. You don't feel pathetic?
But you're using anti-Semitic terms by talking about wealthy Jews and all that. That's anti-Semitic.
Wealthy left Jews. When you see
that term is anti-Semitic.
George Soros, the head.
No American would ever use such a term.
The person who sponsors New Israel Fund, who is, for me, the source of all evil in the world. Today with us is Senior Officer in Southern Command, Colonel Reserve Erez Wiener, to talk about the latest report from the State Controller about Tzuk Eitan war. Hello, Erez. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
First of all, let's hear about your opinion about what's going on, because we hear so many, different sides about it. The political spectrum is saying that this report is entirely political. The fathers of the 68 soldiers that were killed are saying that it is true and there was a big scandal here. Your thoughts?
Well, I don't think that there is a big scandal. I think that there is all kind of behaviors, especially in the political level, that are not exactly respects the memories of the fallen soldiers, and I do truly understand their parents' thoughts and belief. I do think that the State Controller report, coming 2.5 years after the operation ended, and dragging in the last year a whole line of gossip and leaking, and mostly dealing with who said what to whom, is a big waste of time and energy that won't lead us to any improvement or any lesson learned that could really improve the next conflict if we will have to to be in one.
But Colonel Wiener, after all, from reading what parts of the headlines and what the media reported about the report, it seems that it unmasked some severe problems within the military operation. And don't you think that such a report can help the IDF being better prepared for the next operation, if there'll be one?
First of all, we always try to be better, and for that, the Army did a firm and a very deep lesson learned after the war ended, and few short months afterwards, there was already a whole plan of what was wrong, what was not ready enough, and more than that, what should be prepared for the next round. And mostly of the State Comptroller report that comes out only, as I said, 2 years after, were based on what the Army already did for inner learning. So that part was, I feel, is being dealt very well. The other parts of the State Comptroller report, mostly the one who make the major noise, is about the cabinet and about the more personal effects of who said whom and who was in charge and who should be blamed and who should resign or be sent home. And I think when you take such a serious event, and instead of putting your energy on what should be better next time, but trying to see who didn't react good enough in the last time, you waste a lot of energy. Political people are being elected. Let the public decide what he thinks about them.
Colonel Wiener, let me just ask you one more question. At the end of the day, war is war, and it's hard, and bad things happen in war. There's no doubt about it. But reading the testimonies of the soldiers today, and hearing again the fathers, the very hard cry of the fathers that lost their sons. There is a problem with the tunnels. The fact that the Army and the Prime Minister knew about the tunnels and didn't prepare in the right way for it. Do you agree that there was a better way to prepare for it than what eventually happened?
Yeah, I'll tell you a secret. The Prime Minister is not in a position that he needs to deal with the tunnels. I serve, as you said, in the Southern Command in reserve, and during the 18 months before Protective Edge, we were dealing with the tunnels very deeply, and all the forces in the Southern Command were trained and working hard to find the best solution for tunnels. Unfortunately, this solution wasn't in our hands when this conflict started. We didn't prepare it, as you know. We tried to be prepared, and only a few weeks before the war started, we had a beginning of a technical solution that part of it was used during the war and helps us a lot. So we really didn't wait for the Prime Minister and the cabinet to sit and talk about it.
Okay.
Still, there were many things that could be done better in military service.
Colonel, we need to finish, but so basically what you say is that the military, the Army didn't need the report, and the problem is already being taken care of. Colonel Wiener, thank you so much for being with us. It's a great honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going to deal again with your biggest idol, Donald Trump.
He's not my biggest idol. He's the President of America, so I think
he
you
is
should
the
have
President
more
of the United States of America.
He's not an American idol. He's not a singer or an actor.
No, he's not an American idol. I said he's your idol.
He's a lot of people's idol.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Okay.
But you're amongst them.
I never call anyone an idol
that's
beside
good,
God.
Because that's good.
That's my only idol.
That's
but
good.
I do
agree with you.
respect people and admire them.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So the person you respect and admire, Donald Trump, keeps getting, how would I say it, from scandal to scandal. He had his former, of course, he blamed everyone, but he had to sack his former national security advisor. Now it seems like Jeff Sessions, his minister for what is the
Homeland Security.
Is it Homeland Security? I'm not even sure.
I'm not sure either. But
it's,
yeah, I get what you're saying, Uli.
Yeah. All around the ties with Putin's Russia. And we know for a fact that, he's the first leader of the Republican Party who hails Putin and so on and so forth. I'm, by the way, happy that Sessions is going home because this guy had really bad racist remarks in the past. So it's good that this guy is going home, being responsible for dealing with immigrants and all that. But still, don't you fear that there is maybe something there that needs to be looked at?
Okay, so let me tell you this. How long is Trump in admission now? A month? It's closing a month? Okay. So I think that let's say a month and a half. I think that what he did so far is not only admirable, but is big achievements. What he promised to his public, and it doesn't matter if you agree with this public or not, but what he promised to his public, he's been making sure to provide one thing after another. I'm not worried about those things. This is a new government. He's a new president. It will take time to find the right team to assemble. What I am happy about is the speech that we saw yesterday that was not only a wonderful, very presidential speech by Donald Trump.
That's true.
But, for me, it was, there was a little part that was happy in me to see all the media, the mainstream media that usually bash Trump.
You see, it's easy. Once it's presidential,
no, but I'll tell you what.
He gets all the applause.
Yeah, that he was very presidential, I know.
That's true.
But for me, I didn't need that speech to say that Trump was presidential. You know why? Because for me, what is Trump all about? He's about talking to the people, being a part of the people, talking on the same level as the people.
So being obnoxious is being part of the people?
No, to be real, to not be politically correct, to not be fake, to not be a hypocrite. Be real. Promise the people what he wants, give it to him, and say it like he's one of them. And he is one of them.
Yeah, but
and for me, that's all it is.
I think what he maybe started this week with his congressional speech is a good direction. I hope he'll follow it. He can be a right-winger and promote his ideology.
So for you people, it's all about the way he speaks and his tone?
No, yes, it's part of it.
It's
being
funny.
leader is
what
also
about,
being
leader
of the whole nation, not only small parts of it.
He always said he's the leader of all nations.
He said it, but
the left are the ones that choose to pin him.
But he highlights specific people whom he is against.
Highlighting.
And by the way, I'm not sure how long it will last. I really, truly, as a citizen of the world, I really hope that Donald Trump would be like he was this week in the Congress and then not like in Twitter.
Listen, in the end of the day, highlighting those issues that bothers you are the same promises that he makes to the people.
Also depends how.
The illegal immigration people. He never said it in a bad way. He said it in the way that people wanted to hear it. But
Who
you
are
guys...
those people?
Okay, so, let me start by telling the people whoever not know me that I'm the CEO of the Hebrew City NGO. And for the last 5 years, I've been fighting against illegal immigration to Israel. I was born and raised in South Tel Aviv, the part that has been suffering and being occupied by the illegal Eritreans and Sudanese that came here illegally. And this is my fight for whoever knows me. And for the people who don't know, me and Uli have been bashing about this issue already a year and a half ago. But regarding to this, I have to say something. Look, in Tel Aviv here, we suffer from, you won't agree with me obviously, but we suffer from a mayor, Ron Huldai, that doesn't acknowledge half of the part of Tel Aviv. South Tel Aviv for him almost doesn't exist. And that's why those people, those illegal immigrants from Africa that came here are being thrown on the poor, unable to speak residents in South Tel Aviv. Now, in North Tel Aviv, it wouldn't happen. But of course, here, it's okay. So when I saw the mayor of Petah Tikva deciding to shut off electricity, I said, finally, someone has the courage to stand up, get up and say, I will fight for my people, not for illegal immigrants that shouldn't even be here and came here illegally and should be thrown out years ago, but I will fight for my people who I should act for because they voted for me and they are the legal citizens of this country.
Okay, Mai. First of all, I think to shut down electricity by a mayor to residents of his town or city is not humane. You can't do that. You can't do that. These are people with families, with children. You can't do that.
All illegal here.
The illegality of a person doesn't mean that they're not human beings. By the way, they're illegal. They did enter illegally, but they are all asylum seekers.
No, they're not.
And they cannot be thrown out of Israel.
They're not. That's a lie.
It's not a lie.
That's a lie being bluffed and made up by the radical left. It's not true.
I let you talk. But, you know, and because I understand this is something you're very passionate about.
Passionate.
But I'm very passionate about it too. It's not my main focus in life. It's part of what I do.
When you will be living in a neighborhood that is being occupied, when your building will be filled with Eritreans, when your sons and daughters will be scared to go in the streets, then you will not talk the same. This is hypocrisy, Uri.
I didn't even say anything, so how can you be hypocritical?
I know what you're going to say. Because
how do you know what I'm going to say?
Because you're going to say that
okay,
it's
so
human.
what I'm going to say is I truly respect the outcry by residents of southern Tel Aviv. I truly respect that. I do think that the asylum seekers should not be all concentrated in southern Tel Aviv. By the way, these people are in Petah Tikva. That means that they're the people who used to be in South Tel Aviv. I think the way to deal with this problem, people that you cannot throw out because they are asylum seekers, is to absorb them in agriculture, in the industry, in various fields, give them permits to work.
Yes.
Already there are no illegal immigrants coming into
Enough
Israel.
Enough with this lie already. They are working. They're all working.
In black labor.
Don't say they're not working in any black labor. They're making more money than me. I don't know if it's you, but they're making more money than me. Don't give me that bullshit,
I truly hope
oh my God, not working. This
we need
phrase
working
is
hands
worn out.
in agriculture. We need working hands
listen, I've been investigating the issue for the last 5 years.
Me too.
Saying they're not working.
They work.
You know what? Let me surprise you.
They work under the table.
Let me surprise you. They do not work under the table. Enough with these lies.
Yes,
okay,
because
whatever.
they don't have work permits.
What? Let me surprise you. I'm willing to accept real refugees in Israel. You know why I'm willing to accept real refugees?
But you're not the Minister of Interior Affairs.
Why? Maybe I will be someday.
Perhaps.
Yes. But I'm, as the leader of this fight and someone that all interior ministers have been meeting with, I said all the time that if there were real refugees like the people are in the border of Darfur from Sudan, that are real refugees.
Are people from
no,
Darfur.
I'm talking about the Eritreans. The majority
Eritreans live under a vicious military regime.
No, they're not. We have a diplomatic relations with them.
Anywhere else in the world, they're being absorbed.
We have diplomatic relations with Eritrea. We have an ambassador here, an ambassador there.
So what?
They are willing to take them back, and we shouldn't suffer.
And to put them in torture
we shouldn't
and
suffer
prison.
for you and your friends being feeling good about yourselves because you want to be humane.
Yes,
don't be humane on the.
That's Jewish.
That's
Jewish
you
values.
will not be humane on the cost
Jewish
of my
legacy.
family, on the cost of my 70-year-old mother,
be in southern Tel Aviv.
on the cost of me,
it shouldn't
on the
be
cost
there.
of the 70-year-old woman who was raped for 3.5 hours by an Eritrean. You will not. I will not let you the benefit
with all due
of the doubt.
respect, the Eritreans are not the only ones who are rapists. So this week, we have this tradition of ending with a positive note. Yes. And again, we had a heated show. But this week's positive note, I think, is about our new location, our new studios. ILTV is now cooperating with Walla News, and we have this new and wonderful, I don't know whether the cameraman can show the studio, and we're really happy to be here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we have a new staff and a new studio, and we're happy to be here. Thank you for a new show. I want to thank the staff for an excellent new show. Thank you very much, you guys in the control. And thank you, everyone, for being with us for another show of Israeli Frenemies. We hope to see you next week.
Bye.